Thank you for being here at our Wellness Hub by Monica Campana. Today we have a wonderful guest. Her name is Dr. Kinchlow. Everyone calls her Dr. K, and she's a cognitive mindset therapist and coach. And she's going to give us a little bit of a background. What did she do to get to what she's doing today? And what is she actually doing to help people today in these challenging times? Dr. K, thank you so much for being here. The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Monica. I am so thrilled to be here and to be able to share with your community. My name is Dr. Heather Kinchlow, and everyone calls me Dr. K. I am the founder of the Mind Brain Academy, which is designed to help people that have learning disabilities to elevate their minds and to also instruct them so that they can move beyond any type of learning disability, as well as support those that have mindset chatter resets, toxic thinking that really needs to be strengthened. And so I just love the fact that there are so many different methods that we can use through neuroscience and neuroplasticity to be able to rewire the brain. So I got into this when I was in education and also an administrator. I saw so many students that were suffering. Then I also was working with a community where there were parents that were suffering because of their mindset. And then my own personal life, going through a variety of traumas and pain and feeling stuck in cycles. I began to dig and search for different methods. And I stumbled across a school by chance, and I really don't believe it's by chance, that they began to train me in neuroscience and neuroplasticity. And I saw there was so much hope. So within the last 2 decades, 20 years, I've been working with families, individuals, professionals to shift them to another level intellectually, as well as through their personal lives.
Wow, that's wonderful. That's wonderful, Dr. K. Now, I have a very special question, okay? Now, new discoveries from Harvard University and Dr. Robert Tanzi show that the mind and the brain are uniquely different. In what ways do they function together and separately for your benefit?
You know, I am so fascinated with this phenomenon. The fact that the mind and the brain are not the same. We thought they were, but we're finding out now that you actually get to use the mind to shape the brain. The mind actually sends those messages and thoughts to the brain, and then the brain architects the information to hold it for it to become functional in your life. You have over 100 trillion neurons, but they are eavesdropping and listening into as you speak. So it comes out of your mouth, it swings around and goes into your ears, and then it begins to create the proteins that you are commanding it to have for those days. So I'm loving that we get to reshape our minds. You get to use the mind to shape the brain, 2 different entities, and yet they work so closely together, we have thought they were the same.
Now, exactly, I thought the brain and the mind was the same thing. Now you're like, they're separate. So the brain is the actual physical, the physical side
structure.
Of it, right? Structure, and then the mind is the more esoteric. Now, very special question. Do you think that the brain can repair from memory loss or any type of memory issue?
Yes. Oh, yes. I'm so thrilled about that you're not stuck with the brain that you have. And between Dr. Norman Doidge, between Harvard University, he has this wonderful book that talks about the way the brain heals itself. We're finding out that you can actually stimulate so many different parts of your brain to heal Parkinson, to heal chronic pain, to heal ADHD. We don't have to just live with it. he gave two examples that I loved reading about and listening to. He has many YouTube channels. That's Dr. Norman Deutsch. He talks about John Pepper that had Parkinson and taught himself how to exercise and walk and to think about his movements to heal himself. Another example is Dr. Michael Moskowitz, where he says, I no longer believe in just managing pain. I am interested in curing pain. The thing is, it's relentless work. When parents come to me, when students come to me, I tell them, I say, this work that we're getting ready to embark upon can take between 6 months or 3 years, because we are actually remapping and recircuiting the neurons that have been just dormant or that you've been feeding and sending the wrong energy towards.
Wow, that's fascinating, fascinating. And now, what are the 4 major components of optimal brain health?
The 4 major components, I like to call them 4-quarter living. 4-quarter living has to do with quality relationships, where you spend time with people that are positive, because we actually have a mirror gene. So whoever you're around, you'll begin to reflect their views, their perspective, how they carry themselves, all of those things. And also, when you have those quality relationships, it causes you to have good laughter. I loved listening to Dr. Avery. He talks about have a good belly laugh every day, that children do it all day long. It releases the endorphins that you need throughout your body. So that's number 1. Number 2 is that you have good mental and physical exercises. So many people are really into exercise, but they forget that the brain needs a workout as well, that it increases neurogenesis, which is the birth of new cells every day. And also that you have to engage yourself into something that's going to stimulate that brain to learn. There was a study done about these nuns that were in their 90s, and their mental health was so awesome because they took up a new skill every year. Playing the piano, painting, knitting. So you have to make sure you engage yourself. That was number 2. Number 3 is to manage your stress and build your faith values. Have a sense of awe. Take a time to go into outside and view the sunset or a waterfall, or read something devotional. So that would build your faith, and last, grow yourself and your business and your finances. Those are the 4 different components to having brain health, of course, along with exercise and diet and good relationships.
That's wonderful. Now, you mentioned diet. Do you believe that the change in diet can improve your brain health?
Absolutely. First thing with that is off the top of my head, I'm thinking of sugar. You know, sometimes I say, what is your choice of drug? Is it sugar or is it something else? Yes, we can, more than 70% of physical ailments now we're finding out have to do with diet and exercise. And according to Dr. Daniel Amen, that we can change that and you can overcome that. Harvard University said that your diet affects your brain, your heart disease, if people have that, diabetes, obesity, dementia, and that you can change that with good sleep, loving kindness meditation, you know, where you sit and you have a quiet time in the morning or throughout the day. And also managing your stress. There are 3 levels of stress. That first level is a normal stress level, saying, oh, I've got to get ready for the day. I need to do this. I can't procrastinate. That level 2 is acute, where it puts you in that fight or flight state, and you're on edge all day long. And that is not healthy for the body. It never gets to relax. And then level 3 is chronic, where it puts you into toxicity, toxic thoughts, or depression. And so I like to use this acronym STEFE, STEFE, to overcome and capture the ants. The ants are all negative thoughts. So you overcome by steering your speech, training your thoughts, energizing your environment, fueling your feelings, and executing effectively. That will shift everything, and it will heal your body with diet as well as mentally calming down that mindset chatter and resetting you to a phenomenal you.
Wonderful, wonderful. I have to replay that and write it down because those are wonderful words, Dr. K, really, truly. Now, specifically, what type of brain exercises do you suggest people can do if you have a couple of suggestions?
Sure, sure. Mhm. One of the suggestions that I have, we use multisensory exercises. So if you feel like you need to get back up on your game, we actually do exercising with cursive writing.